Welcome to the Daily AI Show. Today is September 18th, and today we're going to be talking about, or we're going to go through the Higgs Field AI image and video tool. I'm joined by Andy, Jimmy, Beth, and Brian. There's two Beths, but that's okay. So first of all, our image screen, yes, that is, we're not talking about news today, we're talking about Higgs Field. And the reason why we picked Higgs Field is I wanted to show everyone exactly what Higgs Field has been doing the last several months. We always are waiting for the last, the next model, right? Grok, Anthropic, OpenAI, but some of these, especially Higgs Field, has just been, when we talk about Shipface, one of my favorite X posters, Adam GPT, these folks have been shipping like crazy. So I just wanted to show, just in terms of X, what they've been doing the last, couple months. So yesterday they announced their first AI World Tour, which is kind of crazy. First full AI music video, Keon Stay Mad. I have not seen this, but amazing. Now they've also have so let's see here. Public profiles for we go into Soul. Soul ID was one of their big ones.
Yeah.
Let's see here. And what's really neat too is the ability Higgsfield has, just like some of the models like GenSpark or Manus, or Perplexity, where they aggregate and you can use a lot of different tools. They do the same thing, but a lot of the audio and video tools as well. Yeah, and they have
for the audience though that's not familiar with Higgsfield, because it is a niche play
Yes.
in some respects. So if you've been using ChatGPT, describe what Higgsfield is and who it's designed for. What is this AI service being used for, generally speaking, so that we have a context for that?
Honestly, I'm not quite sure who is it for, because the tools that they're releasing are super varied. So for example, you have Higgsfield Fashion Factory. The assumption there would be creators, content creators, right? Like for a specific industry. But then you start getting into other things too. So they've got fashion. Obviously, they put in VO3, but they also have, let's see here, they had Seed Dream. What was the other? Banana placement, which is interesting too. I don't know. I'm getting the fashion feel, but there's a lot more that I've seen. So I'm just trying to go through.
Yeah,
Here it is.
Yeah.
Higgsfield ASMR, right? Like
they have a lot. I mean, like everything from commercials. You could do commercials. You could do any sort of digital assets. Consistency with characters. Obviously, you can create your own characters in there that then become, and when you're done sharing this, I'll share the website and like some of the other features in it, because there's a lot you can do. I would define Higgsfield as a playground. Like you're going to subscribe here. I'll pull it on the screen. You're going to subscribe or pay for one of their pricing plans because you're just a creative person, because you may actually have a job where it's okay and you can use AI assets and it's just going to be simply easier, cheaper, faster. I can think of lots of DDC brands, direct to consumer, who don't have major budgets to try to get their product out. Maybe they're doing something as simple as t-shirts or something like that, and Higgsfield is going to give you a really easy way to make really impressive visuals with people wearing your t-shirts. So you could literally come up with 5 new designs today, and before they're ever printed or a model or anybody was ever actually wearing those t-shirts with your new designs, you could show somebody walking down a city street wearing it, like within seconds. right? So it's like, I think it's got a lot of cool things. And you were kind of talking about some of them here. Like here's images. If I drop down here, you can see everything from Soul ID character. I'll show you what I did for mine there. Draw to edit. Some of these are premium features, and you kind of, you go to use it and it says, oh, you need to upgrade. So I mean, it's certainly a pay to play platform. You get X amount of credits. This is nothing really new on the way Higgsfield works. But it does allow you to not have to start. I think its biggest advantage is you don't have to start from a blank page. Like if you're just not sure what you want to do, holy moly, you could just scroll for the next 3 hours and look at the different things that they have for visual effects. And Higgsfield has actually created quite a few of those, right? So this is Higgsfield Soul, but if we just look at visual effects, or if we even go to viral, and then you go down to viral, it's going to show you a few. Then we can go to, well, actually that was camera controls, not viral. One second. Let's go back one. Viral. There we go. View all. Come on now. View all viral. But then even if we look at these viral, once you click into it and you're like, oh, I really like this plasma explosion one. And then if I click on plasma explosion, there's usually 3 to 5 different varieties of plasma explosion.
Yeah.
So then let's say, oh, I want to do this plasma explosion. You would pick on it. And there's a couple things here. One, it's going to show you in the upper right what the stock image was, or not the stock image, excuse me, but what the starter image was that it used. You can use that image. You can replace that image. You can make characters of yourself. You can make 50 different images through Nano Banana of all different sides of the same consistent character, and then use that to train a character inside Higgsfield, and then use that inside something like this plasma explosion one. So I can actually go to recreate here. And if I do, you can actually see here, it's pulling up from ones I had done previously. Like basically I did like 7 photos really quickly of myself just to create a really quick character. It suggests like 20 to 70 images. So this isn't going to be a super representation, but from afar, it kind of looks like me, right? And so this one's kind of, these ones were walking. Those ones didn't work as well. Let me check this one out. So this was the freeze effect, right? Like on it. And that's just using one of their preset ones. This was a zoom out one. That was like a zoom out Earth one, which is kind of cool. Now, it should have zoomed out to the Earth. So like these aren't all exactly like you're going to see in the examples, but you can obviously mess with prompting. You can mess with a lot of different things on there, but you get the idea, right? It's like I was able to create a character fairly quickly. Everything I'm showing you, I did this morning. So like everything happened, everything you're seeing, I created within less than hours worth of my time before I really got started with scaled work, So just some examples here, like that's the freezing one. This one didn't really work, I don't think, because this one was supposed to be doing like a spin around drone shot, probably because of the image I used or something, but it didn't really come out right. And then I tried to do it again without a prompt. And you can see here, it's got cars moving backwards with me. I mean, I guess it's sort of a drone shot, but it's not really working the way. So there's a lot, like you're going to go through some credits here, just like Leonardo or any of the other tools. You're going to kind of like, you're going to move through some credits as you play with it. But the big thing for me is that I took away from it is just a massive playground. Like you do not have to try to come up with an idea yourself. There are quite literally hundreds. I mean, you saw me just drill into viral, then drill into one effect. And then I had 4 options just for that one effect. And then there's 1,000 different ways you could approach that and try to do it. Don't forget, one of the original things that you see a lot of people do on Higgsfield that maybe somebody has an example of is a start and end scene, and then using Kling, or I guess you could use VO too, but Kling does a really good job inside of Higgsfield in order to like wrap around that character. So in that cityscape one, if I had Nano Banana create an image of me walking towards the camera, and then a second image of me walking away from the camera as if I passed the camera, then I can use Kling to bridge the gap between that start and end frame. And Nano Banana is enabling me to keep a consistent character between the 2 images. There's more to it, but I just wanted to throw that out. Like that's what I'm seeing with Higgsfield is like, it's just it's a great way to jump in. And if you are a content creator, if I was a social media content creator for a brand, and they're like, just get creative with this, holy moly, would I be like, pay I think it's $79 a month. Pay the $79 a month, give me all the credits, and I'm going to create you some really, really innovative, eye-catching visual content for our brand. It would be so easy to do. And somebody I'm sure is already crushing it with Higgsfield.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you, Brian. It is a massive playground, and it can be a little daunting because of so much coming at you at the same time. So take Beth's comment about know what you want to do when you're going in if you want to be efficient. If you just want to play around, there's hundreds of toys for you to play with. You know, it's like Toys R Us here. And I have to say, since it's so much, you're gonna take some time to just figure out where you want to go. Like you dialed in, Brian, like there are lots of presets. That's one powerful thing that Higgsfield does for you is if you really don't know anything that you want to create, they've got tons of presets. All of those drilling into different effects and things like that, that's all templated essentially that they've built into the platform so that you can easily produce those effects. But you can get nitty gritty. You have all the dials and levers to pull. You just have to know how to get into it and start working with it. One of the things that I found really useful, and it wasn't entirely clear to me in the beginning, is you can create your own sandbox, or you can create your own area where you can put in all of your ideas, everything that you generate. And they have access to all of the latest models and all of the biggest models. Some of the things that they are promoting every so often are, here's a discount on the credit rate for X, Y, and Z. I think right now VO3 is like 75% off of their normal credit rate, which is pretty high actually. The normal charge for a VO3 8-second is 150 credits, but right now it's like 58. I see that they really lean into the image and video options. And you can weave those together how you want to do that. There is a few audio options, but nothing like an 11 Labs approach and nothing like a Suno approach when it comes to audio. So just realize that going in. But with the introduction of their speak models, both the Higgs Field Speak and the Kling Speak, you can now add your own audio or choose from a bunch of different models that they have already that you can put in there. I quickly did a little thing to just try and create an animated character of my own. I'll go ahead and share that. I probably shouldn't, but this was
what's this animated character doing?
This was what's that?
No, what's this animated character doing? If you shouldn't.
Oh, it's just a little intro. I recorded a few seconds of audio, and then let me see, can I? Okay. I recorded a few seconds of audio and I just used, I believe the first one was the Higgs Field Speak and generated, here we go. Can you hear? Oh, wait, it's not playing it.
Do you want it on the screen?
Oh, yes. Totally forgot. I got to manually do that.
I was like, but you probably want to look at it.
Yeah. Everyone. Oh, it is not playing fast, is it? Let me pause that.
Yeah, let's see if it's whatchamacallit.
Let me
We heard something.
Oh. Yeah, playback is not going good. Okay, let's pause that. Let's see if I can go back here.
Aloha, everyone. It's Junmi's digital twin on the Daily AI Show. From breakthroughs to big questions, we decode AI so you can create smarter. Buckle up and let's dive in. Aloha.
So,
yeah, It was very low for us to hear. Like the audio was super low for us.
Gotcha.
But I could hear the aloha at the end, which was the
right. So so that only took a few minutes to finally put together. I actually started with a image generation, used a screenshot of me on the show, and just started doing in painting and writing in the motion and removal of different elements from the image, and then finally use that image as the basis for the quick little video there. As you can see, it's not perfect. There was some processing errors. You can tell how the screen changed and things like that. So this is not a simple pull the lever and you get your perfect end result. You have to do lots of ideation and look at different things. And yes, you will churn through your credits fairly quickly the faster and faster you work. And one last note, I don't know if it was just the time of night, if there's throttling or priority for rendering, but all of the videos I did were about anywhere from 8 to 15 seconds. And I did 3 of them, but each one took roughly like 10, 15 minutes to fully process.
Oh, wow.
If you can notice that it'll go into a queue. So I don't know what the queue priority statuses are. Maybe it was just the time of night that I was doing it. But your range of expectations should be fairly padded there when it comes to generating any new content.
I do have a couple examples that I've used one for a client work. So this one, I'm actually trying a couple out, especially I didn't use it with Kling and I didn't use it with Seed Dance. So what's amazing about Higgs Field is the ability to do everything, all combining the power of different models. So here we got Nano Banana taking a image. So the first thing I did was I went to Nano Banana. I put, hey, give me an isometric image of this interior of like a home builder, a show home. So this is a real show home. And then I said, okay, here's the isometric view. And then I also in same thing, Nano Banana, I gave it a top view. So a top view and the isometric view. And then all I did was rotate to top view. And that obviously blew the minds of some of the home builders, but that was really cool to just that little piece there is the ability to do that. And then you can do everything from rotate, go to the other side. So what I find is that as long as you have 2 images, and before Nano Banana, it was really hard to get the second image accurate.
Yeah.
Like the first image was easy. The second image is it's like a crapshoot. But with this, it's amazing because Nano Banana actually hit it right on. I was like, this is amazing. And then you put it into whatever. So this one I used, I think is Seed Dance. So I just did this one like right now. And it did not go top view, but that's still cool. It did a zoom view. And then this one was by Kling. And that was not really what I asked for. So this one with the top view one, I used Minimax Halo 02. And that was actually really good at exactly what I wanted. And then I tried to do another one in terms of deconstruction, but I didn't have the plans. So, and I tried to get Nano Banana to deconstruct it, but it's close, right? If I had the renderings, I think I would have gotten that. Anyway, so I thought that was kind of just a couple neat things. And before everything, I got a banana, like a monkey, to hang out with a bunch of people. Yeah.
And just to pop in, one of the things that is happening right now with Higgs Field is if you sign up for your subscription, you have a full year of Nano Banana that are unlimited generations, and a full year of Sea Dream that are also unlimited generations. And that's with the Pro plan, which would be about 200 a year for at least this first year. And then as you go up in plans, you get more credits, but you don't seem to get more, you don't have more access to things. You just get more concurrent generations and those kinds of things. So the fact that the Nano Banana worked best or worked better is relevant, because this is going to give you more than any other system that's going to give you right now.
Yeah,
And I don't
would
know how
say,
they pay for this.
go ahead.
Like, I don't know how. It's like, well, if you go to the main, you have to pay this, but then this company is giving you all these models, and in some cases, oh, you have unlimited this, you have limited. I'm not sure how the economics for them works.
Yeah, it really does look like, because when I first heard about Higgs Field, they were promoting only their own models, right? They have their own models on this whole list, but it looks like they've seemed to pivot lately towards a platform type of play. So Higgs Field's a legitimate platform to think of if you want to try all of the models. If you want to try what the latest and greatest is. If maybe one particular model doesn't quite do the one thing that you want, perhaps one of the other ones can do it for you. And so it looks like that's the kind of play they're going for, is where Higgs Field is the platform. Mm-hmm. To that, they just introduced their community page. So now there's even this social aspect where community members can post their work toward onto a centralized place in Higgs Field. So if you want to see what other people are doing, if you want to gain inspiration, they even in the press release, I think they talked about just getting artists getting in front of more eyeballs and things like that. So and we've seen this in other platforms that are promoting AI artists or AI empowered art, that kind of thing. And so Higgs Field seems to be kind of drawing all of that in. After joining their Discord, you can kind of get a sense of what are the conversations that are going on with Higgs Field users and things like that. So to kind of speak towards who is this for, or who their target customer is for, it really is a mixture of the playground. I'm an artist. I want to create stuff. I'm a content creator. I want to see if I can use this as a tool for my next series of content. I'm a marketer. I want to make a lot of commercial applications. There's a ton of pre-created inspiration apps, essentially templates for you to do specifically UGC commercial inserts. So you can simply use whatever replacement or editing tool that you want to put in that product. So tons of product placement stuff, tons of UGC stuff. That's all in there. Not to mention the whole soul idea, which really is you can create a persona to be influencers. We've heard a couple of fashion influencers, especially on Instagram, that are getting a lot of brand deals because it's, finely tuned model and that's a very visual focused social media platform. Higgs Field can do that with its various tools. So if you take a look at the people, what they're talking about in the Discord, it is a big mismatch of different approaches. So they're kind of taking throwing a wide net here for anyone who's interested in applying visual AI generation to whatever work that
Well, it's very much like what Brian was saying earlier, right? This is the Leonardo approach. They're that for me, I think they're making the play like if you have $200 and you're gonna you don't really know what you want to do with it, but you want to spend it somewhere so that you have access to everything. You will have access to everything. And then I think one of the things um, that is part of my decision process is did I just spend $200? I have not done it yet, but am I spending $200 so that I have access to being overwhelmed at a moment's notice? Or is it better for me personally to go to a less distracting inspiration kind of thing? But they are absolutely making the play for this. And I'm curious whether they're just in sort of their lost leader process, or if this is like January 1st and gym memberships, right? Like, well, I'm just going to do the year because at some point this year I'm going to make use of this, and I'm sure it's a really good idea, and I have to do it now, right? So the all of those kinds of things. I think the stuff that people are doing is very inspiring. But for me, I also go to X and look at the examples that other people are doing with access to this rather than being in this environment. For people who aren't in the chat, I think Brian said initially this is like a playground. For me, it's like a playground in one of those day glow gym, like black light gyms, with a strobe light going. Like it's all right. Did everyone leave?
Looks like it.
Hey, we're still on.
You were right in the middle of talking about the Dayglow platform.
Okay. So yes. A playground built in a Dayglow blacklight gym with a strobe light going. That's what it feels like to me on this. So know what you're going into and have an idea before you get there is my biggest Higgs field tip right now.
Who? Andy?
Oh no, the Carl thing is happening to Carl.
Because it kicked everybody out. Yeah, that probably hit Andy and
Can you hear me?
yeah,
I can
we
hear
can.
you, Andy.
Yeah. Well, I'll just make a couple of comments, observations, really, that because I'm not practiced in Higgs Field. I didn't sign up for the subscription or use it. But you mentioned the community, Junmi, and I did look through what the community members are posting there, and what I saw just by scanning, like pages and pages of different images that people were, posting there that are, the still image of a video that they've created using the Higgsfield platform. With, a lot of girls who put a picture of themselves up for image to video, but they want to see themselves on the beach with sunset wearing a beautiful dress. And I can imagine that, they'd be then walking with the hair flowing and so on. And they would probably use that. I surmise they're probably going to use that for a social media post, right? About me. Well, so there's a lot of that. There's also a lot of interesting transforms of an image of the person who is doing it. So you upload an image of yourself, much like Brian did. But one of the things that seems a feature of a lot of what I saw in there are these things where glass fractures are placed over the face or on the body. And so there's a kind of a destruct mode, that is, jarring and visually, compelling, I suppose. So really to attract attention with a dynamic video. And the other point I wanted to make is that it's an amazing playground if you're focused on this kind of video generation. But the tools like GenSpark, which I'm a subscriber to, also include image to video and use a selector that will provide either multiple generations of the video prompt that you provide along with an image, using Kling, Gemini VO3, Min-Max Hailuo Standard, many others, but not including Nano Banana. So you don't get Nano Banana in GenSpark, and that is clearly in the recent weeks that we've been watching after its emergence, it's the go-to for prompt adjusted video. So those are the two things that I take away from our discussion today. And I did a little experiment trying to do an infographic, a dynamic video infographic of a ball tethered to a point, rotating in a perfect circle around, and then as a separate display, the speed, velocity, and acceleration vectors, which, the speed vector is constant, but the velocity is continuously sweeping because it's changing direction, and the acceleration is changing its direction as well. None of them could do it. That's not easy. It's trained largely, I believe, on videos of people in places. And so it's very good at that. It's not particularly good at understanding or depicting something that requires a little bit of math and a deeper understanding of that. So that'll be my litmus test for video generation going forward, is try to reproduce this image that was really profound for me when I was in high school. And I saw this, there was a 16 millimeter video, but somebody had painstakingly created that diagram. And that really clicked for me and made me understand what vectors are and what the differences are between speed, velocity, and acceleration.
Yeah, and I think that's a good call out for something that you're right. I didn't see anything like that on Higgsfield, right? It definitely seems to be, I would say, fashion, but creative visual effects. Obviously, it has a ton of visual effects in it, the way you see in some other tools as well. I mean, Higgsfield's not the only one, obviously, but they do seem to try to make it as easy as possible for those types of effects. Now, if you were going to try to put together I forget the term of it, Jimmy, it's called like what's it called? Like a splash or something like that, when maybe an up and coming filmmaker wants to just show like a minute or two of a project that they might want to work on or they might want to get funding for. I thought there was a name for that, but it doesn't matter. Whatever that is, like demo reel, highlight. I feel like it's got another name to it. Demo,
teaser.
Whatever. What did you say?
Yeah.
What was it?
Teaser or pitch video.
Yeah, I'm probably I'm probably thinking of something that's not it then, obviously. But regardless, if I'm in college, if I'm in high school and I have a good idea for, an animated, like not even animated, but just like a short that I might want to do or short film or whatever, we're hearing this over and over and over again. And I hear people push back the other way too, but mostly what I'm hearing is, when it comes to that industry, you're now more than ever expected to show up with something produced. Now, that doesn't mean that's what they're going to use in the final, but that you're kind of expected to show up with some visuals, because these movie houses and stuff, they know these tools exist. They know they're basically they're very, very cheap for somebody to produce on, that you can do it with just one person. So you can imagine if you're somebody that wants to take your shot and you go into Higgsfield and you get good at it, and I agree, you're going to burn through some money and credits getting good at it. But there's a lot of the Discord, there's a lot of YouTube videos, there's a lot of training courses that are, that are dedicated to being good in Higgsfield. So there's no lack of information out there. It's just the time it would take you to get good at it. But once you kind of figured out the best way to prompt for this model or that model, and you got the ins and outs of it, I mean, you could see pretty quickly if somebody could put together I think sizzle is what I was trying to think of, like a sizzle reel of maybe like which isn't right, because that's a grouping of other pieces of video. So regardless, a demo reel or a highlight reel of what you might want to do, I think you could do that pretty quickly. Here's this scene. This is what's happening to the character. Here's this scene. Here's what's happening to the character. And Higgsfield is going to make that possible for the person that wants to do that. And I think on the flip side, you're going to have better chances of getting things greenlit if you're able to sort of demonstrate your vision a little bit more than, you know, just pitching it with no visuals or whatever. So I don't know if Higgsfield will be the only tool. I mean, there's other tools that are probably more professional that people are using too. But if you have a modest budget and you like to create visuals, if you see yourself as a digital marketer, if you see yourself, you know, making a career change and you want to work in digital media and you find yourself to be very creative and you have good ideas and you want to market yourself to, like, you know, an up and coming company or something like that, this is a fantastic way and tool to get your foot in the door really, really quickly, because you've got a tool that you can go to, a website that you can go to that has infinite types of ideas. And then it's just a matter of what can you create. And you're going to probably come out smelling like roses for that client, you know, or the company that you work for. So I think there's just so much possibility here. You know, Beth, you were mentioning that it's like, it has that, you know, skate neon glow to it or whatever. Like, I like it. It is a very busy site. It's akin to watching a lot of flying toaster ovens go across your page from back in the day. It's like, oh, that's a lot. But once you kind of settle into it, you're like, oh, there's just a lot here. But I actually appreciate how easy it is to actually just scroll and search and look and explore. Yes, it's all on one page. And a lot of people would call that like, whoa, give me a couple of options first. I kind of like that they throw it all in your face. It does remind me of Leonardo, and I've always liked Leonardo as an AI tool. We don't really talk about it as much, but they were really good about that too. Here's 1,000 different ways that you can do this tool, and I'm like, okay, that's, for me, that's better than a blank page, because I go, oh, I like that, but I want to do something different, you know. And I think it just gets me going, gets the creative juices going a little bit faster, for me at least. Try to do the product placement one. I think you guys will find this funny, Andy. It's kind of too zoomed out. I wish I could zoom in on here, guys. There's no zoom. Okay, Higgsfield, give me a zoom. But I did a product placement, and if you can look at it tiny there, you can
zoom the window itself if you want.
Well, you know, you say that, but I'm using Comet. No, here it is.
Oh, there you go.
Actually, doesn't make it any better.
It makes everything else not the image.
I can't zoom into it. It's stupid. I can't zoom into it. But anyway, I use this product placement, and you can see what it's showing you should be able to do. The problem with it is that the masking tool that they're showing you right there in yellow is only one size. So I was trying to replace a can and just do a quick my character that I created in Higgsfield walking down a made up street in New York, you know, demonstrating my product placement of a Fit Life or Fit Aid can, Fit Aid can. And it, like, you know, it was like, yes, I got that. But because my masking tool part was too big for the can, I don't know if you guys saw it, but it basically made me look like I think it's right here. Like, it would be like a 24 ouncer or a 32 ouncer big gulp Fit Aid. So not going to work, right? Like, there's obviously issues here, whatever, but that's stuff obviously that you could work with. You could zoom in, you could figure that stuff out. We've seen this before with the swapping of products. You could do that right side inside ChatGPT. So again, it's not that, you know, it's not that, yeah, there you go. That was much better. Can I go back to that? That's at least a little better. You can kind of see the huge cans in the hand or whatever. So it's like, it did it, but it's not usable, you know? But also, like, not all these are great. I don't think this one on the left is that bad at all, actually, considering I only gave it like 7 photos of me. And then you can imagine you could go in here and be like, okay, this is the model, or it's me. I want to be the model, right? Because I want to promote my own brand or something. And I could say, okay, well, you know, replace that trench coat with a different brand or style. And I could do a product placement of that different one. Maybe I want a Burberry, or I want a different pattern or something. I don't want the trench coat. That's all stuff that you should be able to do fairly easily once you get good at it inside of Higgsfield. And I think that's what, like, to me, that's sort of its superpower, you know? And on and on, more and more.
Yeah,
options.
no, one of the things I would like to highlight is where you were showing basically, where you could put your product insert, that tool that they're using, whether it's the in-painting tool or what they'll call draw to image. Like for the little video that I generated, that did not start that way. That started with a lot of chaos in the background, positioning, all kinds of other things. But I was able to use the draw to image to to reposition things. I was able to remove completely the background or individual things or add things to it. And I know that's been in the hype cycle lately about talking about drawing your instructions or writing in your instructions. And don't worry, you don't have to have a drawing pad to do this with a pen or whatnot. You can literally, they do have a type tool, so you can literally put in the text that you want and say remove this or move this or zoom in. In fact, I was able to turn a 1x1 image into a 16:9 image with fill because of draw to image. So there's quite a few dials here for your ideation process. And you can start from nothing and then just work with an image as you continue to go. The one thing I haven't tested out is how much does it remember, right? If you close your tab and come back, is it remembering in there if you don't add it to your sandbox, your space? So just be cognizant. If you like something, download it. Just make sure you save it somewhere else. Some of the more internal mechanics of the site, I haven't had time to explore. But yeah, I think just good rule is to save anything that you might like.
Yeah, and again, here's what I would do. I mean, if it's me, if I wanted a character and I wanted to use that character across many different types, the first thing I would actually do at Higgsfield, this is just my opinion, is I would use Nano Banana, create your character, then create as many variations of that exact character, side profiles, back, close up, farther away, different outfits, different locations. Nano Banana can handle all of that, right? So you're going to come up with those 30 or 40 different pictures. Do as many as you possibly can. Then go into Higgsfield and use their character builder like I did. Now, like I said, I did that off of like 7 photos. But I mean, it's not that these people don't look like me. I mean, they're a little off. Maybe it's not exactly, but like just look at the far left one here. It looks enough like me that somebody would say that's Brian. I mean, it looks maybe a little off or whatever. It also brought in my logo from my t-shirt and put it underneath the light rain jacket. Like, just think about that. Think about that kind of level of detail and what we didn't have just such a really short period of time. By the way, on the next one over, like this one here, or I can't point to it, but the next one over, it didn't do it, right? So like, it's really interesting to me, like what you have control over. And yeah, if you don't want it to be yourself, that's fine. Just use Nano Banana and create a character, a person that's your digital model, and then use that digital model throughout all sorts of different, use cases within it. That's probably the fastest way to get going. And it really doesn't take terribly long. Like I said, I was able to do most of what I've showed you. I mean, all of it has either been while I've been on the show or in 1 hour. And probably that's being generous, less this morning. So that was just jumping in. We all knew we wanted to talk about Higgsfield. I've been super busy this week. I didn't have time to like go deep dive into it, but I knew it was there and I wanted to go play with it. So there's not a huge curve here to get going, obviously. And obviously, if I kept working with it, I would get better and better. So I don't know. It's a pretty impressive, tool. I think it's an impressive website that also has their own models that makes it really, really cool. Plus, they are allowing you to connect, obviously, to all the other premier ones like the new Clink speech or your Kling or your VO3. Like Beth was calling out, they'll allow you to get discounts off of that. Maybe it is a lost leader for them right now as they try to grab more and more market share. Wouldn't be the worst idea in the world if people are, building their whole worlds and environments and their playgrounds inside of Higgsfield. That makes it super sticky. And that makes it more and more likely that you're going to pay that reoccurring, or you may just switch over to their, discounted annual membership and go, hey, like I use this all the time and it's also got all my characters in it. And I've also created a ton in there. And it's so easy for me to just move those pictures around and go to the next effect, plus whatever they come online. Hey, I'm just going to pay for the annual on this, and maybe that's how they're thinking about their expansion and growth. So.
Absolutely. And so one of the things that when I was looking around to prepare for the show, like what for me, given that the interface up front is really overwhelming, what do I need to do before I arrive, right? And choose or upload a strong reference image. Now, it may be that you want to go directly to the image generation section to generate the strong images that you're talking about, like Brian is, or maybe you've got your 15, 20, 75 personal selfies that you want to do. And then there are places where the presets are going to let you experiment with camera and motion without needing to know what those things are called. Right? You can just look at an example of it and say, yes, I would like to see what that is. There was some conversation in the chat. Carl, you introduced many of the audience to what an isometric picture is. So like those kinds of things, instead of looking at the presets as like, I definitely want to this is a whole a series of content that I want to learn what they are. I need to know all of those things. No, they're just things that you can recognize, like, ooh, that looks interesting. I can do that with a preset without needing to know the language. And then when you are generating your image, there is a section that says enhance or rewrite for me, right? So that you can say what your intention is in your language and then have the system create the language of video camera movements and that kind of stuff. So those were like the 3 get in and dive in and really play with it. And in that context, I think you could really do a lot and get good fairly quickly if you had an idea when you went.
Yeah. 100%.
Or if I had an idea when I went, I can speak for myself.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Okay.
Jimmy.
Go ahead.
Oh, what I wanted to say was it's what people can do with this is so amazing, but it's so hard to, outside of those who are on X, which is not very many people when we go out to the public, talk to marketing agencies and so on, they don't know about it. Like the just regular people designing and so on. So they use the regular tools like a Midjourney, obviously Nano Banana now. But like things like Higgs Field, Kling, when you hear those terms, Seed Dream, it's not prevalent across just general mainstream. The thing is, it's unfortunate because this tool is so amazing for what it can do, but just not many people know about it. And there's not a way for Higgs Field. Like I don't see many of the things they do outside of X. Like I don't see them anywhere else. So it's just neat. I see them a lot, but that's because I follow them. I've interacted with their content and so on. But outside of that, it's really unfortunate because there's so many tools like it, like an ideogram, like a Leonardo, that kind of never reach where I think this would be amazing for mainstream artists and everyone to get into. Then also there's the other side where like, you know, the designers and the artists who are vehemently against AI tools, which I also think it's not like they can actively suppress it, but it's not reaching it because there's not more designers and creatives that will embrace it and then share it with their networks too.
And Garrett's bringing up a point that, you know, he's saying that, you know, companies won't use it because of security concerns. And that may be the case, you know, that, you know, companies aren't going to be comfortable uploading like who's Higgsfield, what's their security policy, what's their privacy policy. If I upload a whole bunch of my, you know, my new content into there because I want to manipulate it faster with AI, you know, do I have any worries about, you know, my brand or my images that I have, my digital assets, about that being taken? Or what does it mean if I do have it digitally, you know, altered or whatever? So I agree. There's a lot more here. I'm not suggesting that, you know, brands are just like, sign me up, but there are a lot of smaller companies where this is going to make the right sense for them because it's just going to be super cost effective. You know, you get the right creative person who understands Higgsfield, that sort of becomes a resume builder at that point. Because if you like the company understands what Higgsfield can do, and they're able to hire somebody who says like, yeah, I can actually show you my portfolio of what I've created in Higgsfield. Imagine that. And then they go to the company. Well, now they're much more valuable to the company. And you would imagine pay would follow that as well. Because from the company's standpoint, they're going to go, yeah, well, okay, we're paying you X amount more, maybe in salary or a 1099 or whatever for your going rate. But it's clear that you're capable of delivering this. I can see your portfolio. Okay. And you're in line with what we need you to do. You know, it can make a lot of financial sense. But I agree. I think, Gareth, it's a good call out that, you know, obviously from the security and privacy side for businesses, it's going to continue to be questionable, because people are going to have questions about where is Higgsfield located? How do they protect their privacy and their data, whatever, all the stuff, all the things. So
one thing though,
Yeah.
that I think it's very difficult. Sorry, Junmi, I've interrupted you twice.
No, go for it.
Just first of all, like when I see Gwen's comment about people who are enjoying or promoting AI, they get attacked quite like I've been at it on LinkedIn. I don't know how I posted this thing that my co-founder created, and the comments just flooded in. So wherever you are, artists and designers there are very loud and not happy about AI at all. So there's that part of it. And yeah, but when I hear about the security and data and privacy, and we just had another conversation yesterday with another client. The thing is though, I'm really worried that companies who, I'm not saying data privacy security is not important, because it is, but if that's holding you back and you're going the crawl, walk, run rate, and you have a native AI company that is coming and they're like, yeah, that's great, but we're going to like not just embrace it, just like go through it. Like, you are at a disadvantage. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, they will come and it's going to be massive leverage over you while your team is trying to work through that data security and privacy. Again, not saying it's not important, but that there has to be a balance between doing nothing and you got to get going, and you got to get going a little faster. And I know there's companies and IT folks and security ops are like, they're going to give the laundry list of things that they have to get in place. And there was one company yesterday, they're like, oh, we're 2 years away. And I was like, what do you mean you're 2 years away? It's like, we got to get our data. And I'm like, yeah, but you got to do this. And it's like, no, we got to get it. Like, and I get it because the explanation probably made sense. But I was like, I don't know, like 2 years. I'm not sure what's going to happen in 2 years, but you may not be there in 2 years. And that's just, it's very difficult to have sometimes these conversations.
Yeah, I agree.
It's the difference between let's wait and let's wait until it stops, right? Like the tidal wave is coming. And if you're saying let's wait and see what happens after the tidal wave comes and goes, you're running a really big risk of not surviving the tidal wave. It may mean that what you're doing isn't something that you want to do something and then put it right out there, but you should be in a research and development place with all of these tools. And in terms of the creatives, I'm also having those conversations with lots of people, and there is, I understand where people are coming from, but I also these are people's jobs. These are skills that people have worked hard to do. There is question about how these models were created, that they can match the kinds of things that used to take an enormous amount of time to get good at generating. But that's also gatekeeping, right? I spent a lot of time doing this. I mean, my mom could add like a ton of 7-digit numbers in a row immediately. at the bottom. That did not mean that calculators were not a thing. It didn't change her ability to do that, but it did change other people's ability to match that skill without having that kind of brain. And I feel like we're in that place for creatives. And like, again, this is the tidal wave. We can't wait till it's done. We need to engage the conversations as they're happening.
Yeah.
And there's an aspect of a cultural shift as well. Like for Higgsfield specifically, after I got into the community and saw what the push was on the Discord and talking basically reading what people were saying back and forth, there seems to be this growing direction of Higgsfield pushing the idea, and I don't know if this is just generated from their community or maybe it's just AI in general or AI creatives in general, but there's a generational divide here. They're all pushing Gen Z. That's all Gen Z focused, Gen Z forward, all of the ideals and things like that. And there's a us versus them generational, narrative being pushed. Anti-boomer. Let's show them how it can be done differently. Let's show them that we have a better way. And this might be, for lots of different things they're happening in the world or whatnot, but that seems to be the narrative, at least around Higgsfield. What they're really pushing is this is a completely new way of doing things, and the old way isn't good. So there might be more of that push going on in this sector of AI.
Yeah.
Oh, it's also just the last thing before I go. It doesn't help that Higgsfield actually released a product called Higgs Field Steel. Like, I remember that they released it, and I was like, "You're not hiding it anymore. You're like, you know what? We're gonna fully embrace we're gonna take your art and do what we want with it and steal the image and everything, right?" And they use Dua Lipa like right on one of their pages, like, this is how you do it, and all the folks shared it. So it's not like some of these companies are connecting with that community. Not that you may get that connection, but they're like, well, you know what? If this is the response we're gonna get, we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna rub it in your face too, which is terrible.
Yeah, double down on
Well,
it.
but
Yeah.
we're and like stealing has been something in the art world for a while. Frederick Sommer, a photographer that my sister has a connection with, used to say, "Be a thief greater than your loot," and that is the shift that is not happening. Everybody steal and make it steal as like the base level, and then make it better, right? Add to it, and then it's inspiration in a way that is theft but not theft, right?
Yeah. And maybe that's kind of what people get out of using Higgsfield too. It's like that it gives them the ability to create more and add back to the whole. But look, I'm not an artist by trade. I wouldn't call myself a creator other than what we do here and what I've done in the past or whatever, but I don't have it's not a career of mine or anything like that. So to me, it'll be really interesting to see where this goes. Look, we wanted to bring it up today, right? I mean, Carl had to drop, but we wanted to bring it up today because it is a really interesting website. It is something I think people should go look at, figure out whether they think it has value for them. Obviously, if you're in any sort of digital media, you probably already know about it. I think it is already in those industries. If you're at a college like Ringling School of Art and Design or SCAD down in Savannah, you probably already are all the students know what Higgsfield is, as well as probably 7 other tools that I don't know, or websites, that are doing really interesting things with AI. So I think if you're in this area, you're aware of the tools, but yes, as a general understanding of it, if I said the name Higgsfield to any of my clients, would I expect any of them to know what that meant? No, for that matter, my coworkers, so it probably is where it needs to be, but I agree, it would have to grow a lot bigger in order for them probably to be profitable long term. But we'll see if it's just about market share right now. All right, since Carl's gone, I'll wrap it up. Don't forget, tomorrow we'll be back for our Friday show where we might talk about more about Higgsfield, but honestly, it's really just our squirrel show. I won't be here for it, but I'm sure the rest of the gang will have all sorts of interesting conversations in AI that have happened. And well, doesn't even have to be over the last week. It's really just like whatever's the topic and the thought of the day and what's going on. It's always an interesting conversation. We always cover several topics with it. So come on back tomorrow and hang out with us live if you can. If not, catch us on the replay. Don't forget about our community at the dailyishowcommunity.com. That's a Slack community. It's free. You can join. You can come along for the ride with us. We have a newsletter that goes out on Sunday mornings. You can subscribe to that for free as well. You can go to thedailyishow.com in order to sign up for that. Other than that, I think we're good to wrap on this one. I hope you guys got something out of this, learned a little something about Higgsfield, and maybe it inspired you to go check it out, go play a little bit and see what you can create. So, and if you do, come into the community and share it with us so we can all see what you've done. That would be super cool. All right, that's it for today. Have a good one.
Aloha.